What happens when celebrities lose control for just a few seconds, and millions of people watch it forever? Not long ago, public scandals faded with time. A bad night might survive as a rumor, a blurry tabloid photo, or a story told years later in interviews. But now, every concert goer carries a camera. Every argument can become a trending topic before the show even ends. Every emotional reaction can replay across the internet for years. And maybe that's what makes modern fame so dangerous. Because celebrities no longer perform only for the crowd standing in front of them. They perform for millions of invisible viewers waiting online, ready to judge every facial expression, every outburst, every mistake. But here's the question people keep asking. Are these stars truly becoming more reckless? Or are we simply witnessing pressures that ordinary people could never survive under constant surveillance? The answer may be more complicated than anyone wants to admit. Over the past few years, concert stages have transformed into something unpredictable. They're no longer just places for music and entertainment. In many ways, they've become emotional pressure cookers where frustration, ego, exhaustion, loyalty, fear, and public expectation collide in real time. And once the cameras catch it, the moment never really disappears. Back in March 2020, rapper DaBaby became the center of one of the most controversial celebrity confrontations of the year. The atmosphere inside the Tampa nightclub already felt chaotic before anything happened. Music blasted through packed hallways. Fans pressed shoulder to shoulder, phones raised high above their heads, desperate to capture even a few seconds of footage for social media. Security struggled to create space as DaBaby moved through the crowd toward the stage. Then came the moment that changed everything. One fan reportedly pushed her phone close to his face with the flash activated. In the middle of the noise and confusion, DaBaby suddenly swung his arm and struck the woman. The reaction inside the club was immediate. Some people gasped. Others screamed. But the most important thing was this. Multiple phones captured the incident from different angles. Within minutes, the clips exploded online. Suddenly, millions of people who weren't anywhere near the nightclub were debating what had happened. Was it self-defense? Was it reflex? Was it completely unacceptable behavior? The woman later claimed she suffered injuries and emotional distress. A lawsuit followed. Meanwhile, DaBaby defended himself publicly, insisting the bright flash startled him in an overwhelming environment. But critics weren't satisfied. They asked a question that still follows celebrity culture today. Does fame create an environment where stars begin believing emotional reactions excuse physical behavior? What made the controversy even bigger wasn't just the slap itself. It was how divided the public became afterward. Some fans argued that celebrities endure non-stop invasion of personal space. Imagine hundreds of strangers pushing cameras inches from your face while screaming your name. Would the average person react calmly under that pressure? Others pushed back immediately. They argued that fame comes with responsibility, especially toward supporters who paid to see you. And maybe that's the uncomfortable reality underneath all of this. Society expects celebrities to remain emotionally controlled in situations that would overwhelm most ordinary people within minutes. Still, the public rarely shows sympathy once physical confrontation enters the picture. That same pattern appeared again in July 2023. Only this time the situation became even more viral. Cardi B was performing during a brutally hot outdoor show at a Las Vegas pool party. Temperatures were intense. Fans stood packed together beneath the sun while music blasted across the venue. At first, the mood felt playful. Cardi encouraged the audience to splash water toward the stage to help cool her down during the performance. Fans laughed, danced, and tossed small amounts of water into the air. But then everything shifted in seconds. One audience member suddenly threw a drink directly at Cardi's face. Ice, liquid, and the cup itself struck her mid-performance. Her reaction was instant. Without hesitation, Cardi grabbed her microphone and hurled it toward the crowd. The moment looked almost unreal in slow motion. The crowd screamed. Security rushed forward. And within hours, the clip dominated TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and X. People argued about it non-stop. Some viewers defended her completely. They claimed anyone would react angrily after being hit in the face while performing under exhausting conditions. Others argued that throwing a heavy microphone into a crowded audience could have seriously injured someone. Police later investigated the incident, though criminal charges were not filed. Civil legal action later followed, ensuring the controversy stayed alive long after the concert ended. But the larger conversation surrounding the incident revealed something deeper about modern entertainment culture. Why are audiences becoming increasingly comfortable provoking performers for viral attention? And on the other side, why do so many celebrities appear only seconds away from explosive reactions? Maybe because both sides now understand something important. Chaos spreads faster online than professionalism ever will. A calm concert rarely trends worldwide. A violent or shocking moment almost always does. That reality creates a dangerous environment where everyone, fans, artists, promoters, influencers, unconsciously benefits from outrage. Then came another incident that pushed the conversation even further. During his final lap tour in Los Angeles, 50 Cent experienced repeated technical problems while performing on stage. Microphones reportedly stopped functioning correctly during the set, frustrating both the rapper and the crowd. At first, he tried pushing through the issues. But as the problems continued, his patience visibly disappeared. In frustration, 50 Cent threw one microphone away from the stage. Then, moments later, he launched another. This time, the microphone struck a woman near the performance area, a radio host who reportedly suffered visible injuries. Photos spread online almost immediately. Once again, the internet split into opposing sides. Some fans believed the injury was clearly accidental. Others argued the intent didn't matter. Throwing equipment into crowded spaces creates obvious risks regardless of frustration. What made the backlash worse was the public response afterward. Instead of focusing directly on the injured woman, 50 Cent joked online about firing members of the sound crew. Critics interpreted the response as dismissive and insensitive. No criminal charges were ultimately filed, but the incident raised another difficult question. Has celebrity culture normalized emotional outbursts because audiences secretly expect entertainers to behave recklessly? For years, music culture has rewarded larger-than-life personalities. Fans celebrate unpredictability. Aggressive stage behavior often becomes part of an artist's public image. But when does entertainment cross into irresponsibility? That line seems harder to define every year. Not all viral celebrity moments involve anger, though. Sometimes the public reaction comes from concern instead of outrage. Recent performances involving Kodak Black left many viewers genuinely unsettled. In one widely shared clip, security personnel appeared to physically support Kodak while he remained on stage during a performance. His movement seemed slow and unfocused. At times, he looked disconnected from the environment around him. The footage spread rapidly online. Fans immediately began debating what they were watching. Was he exhausted, unwell, under the influence? Or was the internet exaggerating another moment out of context? Kodak's team denied serious concerns, claiming security simply helped maintain crowd safety during the performance. But many viewers weren't convinced. The clip reminded audiences of earlier performances where Kodak appeared disoriented or emotionally distant on stage. Concern replaced mockery for many longtime fans who began asking whether people around him should intervene instead of allowing troubling moments to continue publicly. And that question extends far beyond one artist. Modern celebrity culture often treats visible warning signs as entertainment content before recognizing them as human struggles. People repost clips, add music, turn serious situations into memes, generate millions of views. But what happens when someone is clearly struggling in front of the world while everyone keeps filming instead of helping? The line between concern and exploitation becomes disturbingly thin. Not every confrontation involves instability or frustration, however. Sometimes emotion comes from loyalty, especially in hip-hop culture, where personal relationships and respect carry enormous weight. During a 2022 concert in Rotterdam, Lil Durk abruptly interrupted his performance after a fan allegedly made disrespectful comments about late rapper King Von, one of Durk's closest friends. The atmosphere shifted instantly. Durk confronted the fan directly from the stage. Tension spread through the crowd as security moved quickly toward the situation. Videos later showed Dirk shoving the fan backward before security intervened completely. Then he addressed the audience clearly. Disrespect toward Vaughn would not be tolerated. Surprisingly, much of the online response supported him. Many fans didn't view the moment as celebrity violence. Instead, they saw grief, loyalty, and emotional protection of a fallen friend. But that reaction raised another uncomfortable issue. Would ordinary people receive the same public support if they responded physically during emotional conflict? Or do celebrities operate under a completely different social standard where aggression becomes acceptable when attached to loyalty, pain, or entertainment value? The internet rarely applies rules consistently. Public opinion changes depending on who people already like, hate, or sympathize with. And perhaps that inconsistency explains why celebrity controversies feel impossible to predict. One artist gets condemned instantly. Another receives praise for similar behavior. Meanwhile, audiences continue consuming every moment as spectacle. In 2025, Glorilla faced an entirely different kind of challenge during a concert in Missouri. Instead of conflict between performer and audience, chaos erupted among fans themselves. Fights repeatedly broke out inside the crowd. Security struggled to regain control while the performance stopped multiple times. The energy inside the venue shifted from excitement to tension as arguments spread through different sections of the audience. At first, Glorilla tried calming the situation. She paused the music and pleaded with fans to relax. She reminded everyone they came to enjoy the show, not hurt each other. But the disruptions continued. Eventually, after multiple interruptions, she made a difficult decision. End the concert entirely for safety reasons. The response online was dramatically different from many previous celebrity incidents. Instead of criticism, many fans praised her restraint. In a social media environment where controversy often increases attention, Glorilla chose de-escalation instead of confrontation. She walked away from chaos rather than feeding it. And maybe that's why the moment resonated so strongly. Because audiences have become so accustomed to public meltdowns that basic responsibility now feels unusual. Still, perhaps no rapper became more connected to public chaos than Tekashi 6ix9ine during the peak of his fame. Back in 2018, his concerts frequently resembled uncontrolled explosions of energy. Crowds screamed every lyric. Security constantly fought to maintain barriers. Fans climbed over each other trying to reach the stage. Tekashi encouraged that chaos. He built much of his public image around unpredictability and aggression. The louder the controversy became, the more attention followed him online. Then came the now infamous stage dives. Again and again, Tekashi launched himself into crowds expecting fans to catch him. And repeatedly, audiences failed. Videos showed him slamming painfully onto floors while people scattered away in shock. The internet immediately transformed the clips into memes. Millions laughed. But underneath the humor was another strange reality about celebrity culture. Audiences often encourage dangerous behavior until something genuinely bad happens. Then, suddenly, everyone asks why nobody stopped it sooner. Later that year, another serious incident occurred during a concert in Russia. A fan rushed the stage and aggressively shoved Tekashi from behind mid-performance. Within seconds, members of his entourage attacked the fan directly in front of the audience. The venue descended into confusion. Security rushed across the stage. Fans screamed. Phones recorded every angle possible. And once again, the internet exploded with debate. Should artists tolerate physical invasions from fans? Should entourages respond violently to protect performers? Why do concert security systems repeatedly fail during high-energy events? The incident reflected a growing issue across live entertainment. Modern concerts increasingly feel unpredictable because everyone involved understands the value of viral footage. Fans want unforgettable moments. Artists want emotional energy. Social media rewards chaos. And that combination creates environments where things can spiral out of control in seconds. Even Drake found himself caught in crowd drama during a 2023 performance. At one point, Drake tossed a towel into the audience. Almost immediately, he noticed a male fan wrestling a woman while trying to grab it. Instead of ignoring the situation, Drake stopped the performance and called out the behavior publicly before stepping away from the stage momentarily. Compared to flying microphones or lawsuits, the moment seemed relatively minor. But it highlighted something important. Concert volatility doesn't come only from performers anymore. Fans themselves increasingly contribute to dangerous situations because social media has transformed ordinary interactions into competitions for attention. Who can get closest to the artist? Who can create the most viral moment? Who can leave the concert with footage nobody else captured? That mindset changes crowd behavior completely. People no longer attend events only to experience music. Many attend hoping to become part of the story itself. And perhaps that explains why celebrity culture now feels permanently unstable. Artists perform while knowing every reaction could define their reputation forever. Fans push boundaries because online attention feels valuable. Security teams face impossible situations inside overcrowded venues. Meanwhile, millions online judge events instantly without context. So what's really happening here? Are celebrities becoming emotionally reactive because they live under non-stop surveillance and pressure? Or are audiences provoking more extreme behavior because viral chaos has become a form of entertainment? Maybe both sides are trapped in the same cycle. The public demands authenticity from celebrities, but punishes them the moment raw emotion appears. Fans want stars to feel relatable and human, yet expect perfect emotional control under conditions most ordinary people would never survive. At the same time, celebrities themselves sometimes forget how much influence and physical power they hold in public spaces. One impulsive reaction can injure someone, trigger lawsuits, or permanently alter public perception. And in the smartphone era, context rarely matters as much as footage. A 5-second clip spreads faster than a 5-hour explanation. That may be the most frightening part of all. Some of these incidents lasted only moments. A thrown microphone. A shove. A reflex reaction. A crowd fight. A stage dive gone wrong. Yet years later, those brief flashes still shape how millions of people view these artists. Because once a moment becomes viral, it stops belonging to the people involved. The internet takes ownership of it forever. Memes replace nuance. Arguments replace understanding. Algorithms reward outrage. And public judgment becomes permanent. Maybe that's the true cost of modern fame. Not the pressure. Not the criticism. Not even the scandals themselves. It's the reality that celebrities no longer control their own narrative once the cameras start recording. Every mistake becomes searchable. Every reaction becomes replayable. Every emotional second becomes digital history. And perhaps the most unsettling question is this. If ordinary people lived under the same non-stop surveillance, how many of us would survive public judgment any better? Because the truth may be harder to admit than people realize. Fame doesn't create human flaws. It simply exposes them to the entire world at once. And once millions have seen the moment, there's no taking it back. What really happens after the music stops, the cameras keep recording, and celebrities forget, just for a few seconds, that millions of people are watching? And why do audiences keep replaying those moments over and over again? Maybe it's because unscripted moments feel more honest than interviews ever could. Publicists can rehearse answers. Managers can control headlines. Entire teams can shape a celebrity's image for years. But one unexpected reaction on stage, one emotional breakdown backstage, or one split-second decision during a live performance can expose a side of fame that polished documentaries never show. In today's entertainment culture, a viral clip spreads faster than any official statement. Within minutes, audiences form opinions, pick sides, create memes, and rewrite reputations. One awkward moment can overshadow an entire career achievement. One emotional reaction can suddenly make a celebrity feel human again. And nowhere is that pressure more intense than in hip-hop. For longtime fans who watched rap evolve from neighborhood storytelling into a billion-dollar global industry, these public incidents reveal more than gossip. They reveal the psychological weight artists carry every single day. Ego, pride, grief, loyalty, fear, insecurity, and the exhausting pressure of always being watched. Take Drake, for example. Over the years, Drake has built an image that feels almost untouchable. Massive tours. Record-breaking streams. Stadium crowds screaming every lyric back to him. But even artists at that level cannot fully control what happens during live shows anymore. At one concert, Drake reportedly stopped the performance after a male fan attempted to grab a towel he intended to hand to a woman in the audience. At first, the interaction looked small, just another chaotic concert moment. But Drake suddenly turned around, visibly irritated, and demanded the towel be returned. The entire atmosphere changed instantly. Fans nearby began cheering as Drake defended the woman publicly. For a brief moment, the crowd stopped seeing him as a superstar and started seeing him as someone trying to maintain basic respect in an increasingly chaotic environment. And honestly, that reaction raised a bigger question. Have audiences become so comfortable crossing boundaries with celebrities that basic respect now feels surprising? Because think about it carefully. In almost any normal environment, grabbing something out of another person's hands would immediately be seen as rude or aggressive. Yet at concerts, many fans act as if normal social rules no longer apply. Phones get thrown on stage. People rush security barricades. Some scream deeply personal comments at performers they have never met. And celebrities are somehow expected to stay calm through all of it. Drake himself has experienced plenty of uncomfortable moments in public. During one show in Manchester, he jokingly recoiled after spotting a woman in the crowd who briefly reminded him of an ex-girlfriend. The audience laughed. Social media clipped the moment within hours, and suddenly another spontaneous interaction became internet entertainment. At another concert in Chicago, a phone reportedly struck Drake while he was performing. He barely reacted and continued the set anyway. But should artists really have to normalize that behavior? That question becomes even more complicated when grief enters the conversation. In February 2023, the 65th Grammy Awards became emotionally tense behind the scenes when reports surfaced about a confrontation involving Quavo and Offset before a tribute performance honoring Takeoff. To understand why fans reacted so strongly, you have to understand what Takeoff represented. Among the members of Migos, many fans viewed Takeoff as the quiet one. The calm presence inside a group known for explosive energy and massive success. His death shocked the hip-hop world. Even people outside rap culture recognized how devastating the loss felt for Quavo and Offset. So when reports claimed tensions escalated backstage before the tribute performance, the internet reacted immediately. Witnesses' alleged disagreements about the performance turned into a heated argument. Some reports claimed people nearby had to step in before things escalated further. What made the situation heartbreaking was not just the argument itself. It was the timing. Fans were already emotionally overwhelmed watching surviving members of Migos navigate grief publicly while millions observed every expression, every interview, and every appearance. Social media filled with comments repeating the same painful thought. Takeoff wouldn't have wanted this. And maybe that sentence explains why the story spread so rapidly. People were not simply watching celebrity drama. They were watching grief collide with fame in real time. Offset later denied that a physical altercation took place, but by then the story had already exploded online. Headlines spread faster than corrections ever could. And honestly, moments like this force audiences to ask uncomfortable questions. Does fame actually strengthen relationships? Or does constant pressure slowly damage even the closest bonds? Because the music industry does not just reward talent anymore. It rewards attention. Every disagreement becomes content. Every emotional moment becomes a trending topic. Every private conflict risks becoming public entertainment. And hip-hop has a long history of public tension spilling into real-life confrontations. Back in 2014, The Game and Young Thug reportedly clashed backstage at the BET Hip Hop Awards in Atlanta. At the time, the tension represented more than two artists disliking each other. Young Thug symbolized a changing era of rap music. His style felt unpredictable, experimental, emotional, and completely different from previous generations. Some older rap fans loved the creativity. Others viewed it as disrespect toward traditional hip-hop culture. The Game represented almost the opposite energy. He carried the image of a respected West Coast veteran, someone deeply connected to rap's older codes surrounding respect, reputation, and authenticity. Reports claimed online exchanges and subtle dices eventually turned into a backstage confrontation involving pushing, shouting, and members of both entourages before security intervened. But here's what made the incident fascinating. No clear footage ever surfaced publicly. And strangely, that absence made people even more obsessed. Why? Because mystery fuels imagination. When audiences cannot fully see what happened, they begin filling the gaps themselves. Rumors become legends. Half-confirmed stories grow larger over time. In many ways, the unknown creates more fascination than actual evidence. The conflict eventually spilled into interviews, diss tracks, social media posts, and public threats before both artists cooled tensions. Young Thug later released an apology video, and the game publicly accepted it. That outcome surprised many fans. Especially because hip-hop history contains far darker endings. Which raises another important question. Why do some rap feuds eventually fade away while others spiral into tragedy? To answer that, many longtime fans revisit one of the most chaotic nights in award show history. The 2012 BET Hip Hop Awards in Atlanta. According to reports, tensions involving Rick Ross and Young Jeezy exploded backstage after years of underlying conflict tied to lyrics, street affiliations, and public disrespect. Their issues reportedly centered partly around Ross's famous track, BMF, which some believed blurred lines involving real-life associations and reputations. At first, reports described verbal arguments. Then things escalated. Witnesses claimed members from both entourages became involved as the confrontation intensified backstage. Security reportedly struggled to restore order while confusion spread throughout the venue. But the chaos did not stop there. Later that same night, gunplay reportedly became involved in another altercation connected to associates of 50 Cent. Videos later surfaced showing police intervention as the atmosphere spiraled further out of control. For older hip-hop fans, moments like that symbolized a dangerous era when rap industry conflicts frequently blurred into real-world violence. Reputation mattered intensely. Public embarrassment carried consequences. And social media had not yet fully arrived to calm or expose situations instantly. Ironically, today's non-stop cameras may actually prevent some conflicts from escalating further. Why? Because artists now understand that every second could become evidence, headlines, or internet memes forever. But not every viral celebrity moment involves violence or confrontation. Sometimes audiences become fascinated simply because a performer handles embarrassment with unexpected grace. Take Nicki Minaj. Throughout her career, Nicki has experienced several highly public wardrobe malfunctions during live performances. Yet what consistently impressed audiences was not the mistake itself. It was her ability to recover without collapsing under pressure. During a 2024 stop on her Pink Friday 2 tour in Orlando, part of her outfit reportedly slipped while she interacted with fans on stage. Millions of artists might have panicked. Nicki adjusted the outfit calmly and continued performing almost immediately. No meltdown. No dramatic exit. No visible loss of confidence. And fans noticed. Many longtime viewers immediately remembered her famous 2014 performance at the MTV Video Music Awards, where she reportedly held together an unzipped dress during a rushed costume change and still completed the performance professionally. Years later, similar situations happened again at festival appearances. Yet every time, she stayed focused and finished the show. Jay-Z visibly appeared uncomfortable. Alicia Keys later admitted she barely understood what was happening during the performance itself because she remained focused on the music. The internet reacted instantly. At first, the moment became a meme. People laughed at the awkwardness. Talk shows mocked it repeatedly. Social media turned the interruption into entertainment. But over time, public opinion slowly shifted. Years later, Lil Mama spoke openly about how deeply the backlash affected her emotionally. She explained that she felt overwhelmed with excitement and pride as a young New Yorker celebrating artists she admired. In that emotional moment, she acted impulsively without fully thinking through the consequences. And suddenly the story felt different. Instead of seeing only embarrassment, many viewers began seeing vulnerability. Jay-Z later publicly forgave her and dismissed the incident as excitement that simply went too far. But the larger conversation remained. Did the punishment exceed the mistake? That question feels especially relevant in today's internet culture, where public humiliation can follow someone for years over a single emotional decision. Because social media rarely allows people to outgrow their worst moments peacefully. One clip becomes identity. One mistake becomes legacy. And maybe that's the hidden reason audiences remain obsessed with unscripted celebrity moments. They feel authentic in a world increasingly dominated by carefully managed branding. Whether it's Drake confronting disrespectful fans, Quavo and Offset struggling through grief, Nicki Minaj recovering from embarrassment, Young Boy reacting to chaos, or Lil Mama interrupting a legendary performance, these incidents expose something raw beneath celebrity image management. Pressure, emotion, human imperfection. And perhaps audiences are not truly watching for gossip alone. Maybe people replay these clips because they reveal something strangely familiar. Everyone loses composure sometimes. Everyone makes emotional decisions. Everyone struggles under pressure. The difference is that celebrities do it in front of millions of people holding phones. And maybe that leads to the final question hiding underneath every viral moment we consume online. Are audiences really watching celebrities fail? Or are they watching famous people experience the same fragile emotions everyone else tries to hide?